Guys, how are you? I hope you are well. Sorry for the little delay getting started tonight. So glad that you took a few minutes to be here with us. We are looking forward to a short period of time here, but a good time to hang out with you. I hope you have enjoyed the weather. It has been a little wet today, a little wet. I was out in the rain a little bit, having to run out to Sam's Club, and got a little bit damp, but that's all right. That's all right. It's better than snow. You don't have to shovel it as much. So hope you're doing well, except for your skiers. I know you skiers are a little disappointed when it rains and doesn't actually snow. But hey, I'm glad we're together. I wanted to tell you, first off, I had to have a procedure done in my face. Procedure is what old people say when they have to say things like they have to go to the doctors. And they put this stuff on my face that kind of helps clean up some precancerous stuff, things that it's not cancer, but it could turn into cancer. So they clean that up for me a little bit. So if you're wondering what some of these spots are, no, I did not get a nose ring. I noticed when you look on this side, you might think I got a nose ring. That's just one of the many scabs that happen when you have a process like this done. I'll tell you more in a minute. But hey, I'm so glad you're able to be here with us. A couple exciting things. First off, that I wanted you to be aware of. We are getting excited about the possibility of starting some live stuff. In fact, we're looking at doing real life here for just the Altoona folks on Sunday nights at 7:30, and we'll have more details for that in the coming weeks here. But probably in about 2 weeks, we're going to switch over from this format to a live in-person format. But we're still going to do something similar to this during the week, just as you don't have to attend it at a certain time. It'll just be something that you can check out, which hopefully would be a positive thought for you in the midst of your week. But welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you're here. Friday night, I was able to be at the Altoona guys basketball game. Tough match, guys. I know you've had a hard season, but you've been faithful and you've run hard. So wish you, all of those of you who are not graduating, wish you the best going forward. I wanted to take a moment and just share with you some really exciting news. We are looking like we are going to do a summer camp trip, which would just be extraordinary. We will know for sure what spots we got, if we get spots, on March 15th. So the following, that week, the 16th, 17th, those days, we will be getting the word out of where we're going, the cost, the dates, and everything like that, and if that's possible. And to give you a little bit of an idea, we wanted to show you a quick video of what Young Life's camp, it's called Rockbridge Alum Springs. It's in Virginia. This is one of the ones that we are considering looking at, or that we have put in a request for. Whether we'll get that or not, I'm not sure. But I want you to see that. The other one we're thinking about is up in upstate New York at a place called Saranac Village, which is also incredible, very water-based. So you parasail, water ski, tubing, things like that. So we'll work out all those details as we figure things out. But let me give you a little taste of what Young Life, a week at a Young Life resort is really like.
the beat.
Well, guys, that is going to be our plan for this summer. If everything works the way we would like, we will be heading there. Hopefully, if we go to Rockbridge, it'll be in June. If we go to Saranac, it'll probably be a July trip. So hope you can be a part of which either of those happens. The number of spots I'm guessing we're going to be able to receive for those weeks is probably going to be lower than what we are going to need. So when those become available, guys, act on it. Those of you who gave deposits, and there were almost 50 of you last year, if you want to just carry that over and go with us this year, you're going to want to let us know that as soon as possible, and we will make that happen. So we're very, very excited about that. Hey, I want to encourage you, please, if you could, subscribe to our channel, and that way, what I mean by that is just purely get your go ahead and put a positive note in there of, yeah, I want to subscribe, or give us a thumbs up, or whatever you might want to do. That would be awesome. Hey, I was thinking about tonight, and I was thinking a lot about my face, because it's just kind of a guy like me at my age doesn't get beat up that often, and so when you have the doctors do this to you, you just kind of start to feel like, man, it just kind of hurts. And sometimes people don't realize that they're messed up unless somebody tells them. And, when I first came home I from the doctors, and they do a procedure where they put this bright light on my face and they let it shine for 16 minutes and 40 seconds. And they put some oil or some kind of thing on it that makes all the precancerous stuff kind of get deleted. Which is really cool, which is good for me long term, because I'd like to live a few more years. But you don't know exactly how bad it looks until you walk in the door and someone says to you, "Wow, did you get burned?" Or, "Wow, is it painful?" Because it looks really painful. And that's kind of the experience every time I go through this process. Every couple years I have to do it. And I get to go do it in another month. It's for the second part of it's a 2-part thing. So I'm not very excited about that, because I know how much it hurts. And I remember in a month how much it hurts. So hopefully it'll pass pretty quick here in the next day or two. I should start to look somewhat normal, which is not a pretty face anyway, but we'll keep plugging. Hey, and I was thinking tonight, as I was kind of prepared for just a few minutes to talk about things, there's a passage in Matthew chapter 8, which is a story about this guy with leprosy. Now, I don't know if you know what leprosy is, but leprosy was a skin disease, kind of, in a way, kind of what I had or have. But theirs was so bad that they would lose feeling in places on their hands and their fingers, and they would end up losing parts of their hands in accidents and other things because they just couldn't feel anything in there. And leprosy was such a frightening thing that the people in that time, they didn't want to be anywhere near anybody that might have leprosy. And so the lepers were required to live outside of the city, kind of in their own little village. And so they had if you've ever heard of a leper colony, that's exactly what it was, a leper colony outside the city. And if they came into the city for whatever reason it might be, they had to announce that they were coming, so that people who were clean and didn't have leprosy could run from them and get away from them. And so they would have to come in. Now, just imagine this in your school or in a workplace, having to walk into that office and go, unclean, unclean, I'm coming, unclean. And they had to wear bells so that people heard them coming, so they didn't sneak up on anybody, because they believed that if they got too close to somebody with leprosy, they would in fact contract it themselves. And it was a death sentence as far as these people were concerned. So it was bad news. If a leper was to touch somebody who was prominent, it would be as if they were attempting murder. And so they would then be killed, stoned for doing that. And so this leper comes into town, and he's standing there, and he sees Jesus. Let me take you to where this encounter with him and Jesus happened. Okay, it's Matthew chapter 8, verses 1 through 3, and it says this: When he came down from the mountainside, a large crowd followed him. A man with leprosy came and knelt before him and said, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. And Jesus reached out his hand and he touched this man. And he said, I am willing. Be clean. And immediately he was cleansed of his leprosy. Immediately he was cleansed of his leprosy. There's a couple key things to this. First off, when this Jesus kind of comes into contact with this guy or gets near this guy, he could have stopped him and said, okay, whoa, stay where you are. How can I help you? And then the guy could tell him, hey, Lord, if you're willing, make me clean. And then Jesus from across the street could say, you are clean, so that he didn't risk having contact with this guy. But that's not the way it worked. This man, in a very bold move, came up to Jesus and knelt before him. So if Jesus didn't solve the problem, this man was probably done. He kneels before Jesus and he says, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. As if he was stating a fact. Lord, if you're willing to, you can make me clean. I know you can. And this guy says this to Jesus. And Jesus, again, could have been at a distance and said, okay, be clean. But look what he did. Jesus reached out his hand and he touched the man. Guys, I don't know how long this person had leprosy, but can you imagine as being a person who people ran from, who didn't want to be anywhere near you because of your disease, that all of a sudden Jesus, a clean person, would reach out his hand and touch the leper? I mean, that's an incredible image. And I want to encourage you to think about that Jesus didn't just heal him. He healed him from the inside out. He touched him. What an incredible thought. I think then the statement goes on to say that Jesus says, be clean, and immediately he was cleansed from leprosy. Here's the thing I was thinking about. You might look at your life and go, God, I don't have leprosy. I'm thankful for that. But I got things in my life that just are not really great. And, I either relationally or just how you're struggling with yourself, maybe on a personal level. And on the outside, we try to look all together, like we have it all perfect. And sometimes we have to be honest, and maybe sometimes someone has to tell us that we aren't doing well. I think of my face. I came home from the doctor, and I knew that it was sore and things like that. But when I was told when I got home, wow, your face is really red. And as it gets worse for a couple of days, and to just be told, wow, is that painful? Because it looks terrible. And said with love from my kind wife, but truthful. She had to tell me the truth. Tim, you got a problem. And but here's the cool thing. Or maybe a crazy thing. I could have gone around like, oh, I'm fine, and gone out in the sun, even though they tell you don't go out in the sun after you've had it done. I could have ignored all the factors on the outside. But because I had some people who cared about me, they made me look at myself and go, wow, you have a problem. Because see, I think the first part of getting well is we have to acknowledge we have a problem. And look what Jesus did, or what this man did first. He came to Jesus and said, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. Guys, the guy had to recognize that he had a need. And he had to go to the right person to get that need met. And when he did, and he said, Jesus, I believe you could make me well. I believe you could heal me if you're willing. He was saying, God, am I important enough to you? Jesus, am I important enough? I mean, if you're willing to, you can do it, but are you willing? Guys, no matter what you're wrestling with in your life, if you come before Jesus and say, Jesus, I'm struggling. Are you willing to make me better? I promise you this. He is willing. And not only is he willing, but he is able. He has the power to fix the things in your life. Now, does that mean he's going to take away all the painful things you're in the middle of? Probably not. But he is going to make it better. There might be things that you're in the middle of that either you caused or somebody else caused that's painful, and it's going to be painful for a while. But wouldn't you like to walk through that with the God of the universe who says, I'm at your side. I am willing. I will walk with you. I will be there for you. And we will get through this. Guys, I want to encourage you, whatever you're struggling with in life, if you ask Jesus, he is willing. He is willing to step in. Hey, thank you for taking the time tonight. And I want to encourage you. You know, we talk a lot in Young Life and about the fact that we were created to be in a relationship with God, and that we've pulled away and kind of decided to go our own way and to run from God. And then sometimes we get to a place where we say, you know what? This isn't working so well. And we want to turn around and come back. And the question you might be asking is, God, I've made so many bad decisions. Are you willing to take me back? And his answer is, I'm willing. I am willing. Come on home. Guys, if you have questions about what that means and what that looks like, will you please text me or send me a Facebook message or however you can get to me. But let me know that you have some questions or you'd like to talk about this. And I'd love to chat with you. Hey, I'm going to say a quick prayer for us and then we're going to be done. God, thank you for this time. Thank you that God, in the middle of whatever battle we're in, hopefully there's people around us who are saying, hey, you need some help. Or maybe we just spend enough time in front of the mirror and go, I need help. And the great news is, the words that Jesus said to that leper, he says to us, I am willing. I can make you well. And immediately he did. Father, thank you for each person who is tuned in. And we thank you for this technology. And we pray that we'll be able to soon be together in small groups and that we'll be able to soon get together in larger groups outside as the weather breaks. And hopefully this summer, spend a week together at a Young Life resort. Thanks so much, Father, for this time. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Friends, thanks so much for being here with us tonight. God bless you, and hang in there. If there's anything we can do to help, just give us a yell, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.